and also get back on track with content creation and material you put on the net. So that's why I put RSS feed in the subject line and the blog and Facebook, and then a white flag that's saying giving up, waving in a battlefield or on a boat or something like that. And here I'm holding on this, if you're watching here on HAPS TV, and download, if you don't have it, download it and get 100 free coins that you could give to content creators like myself and others, and then share it and gives thumbs up, high five, and as I said, coins. And if you do that, you could also click on the donation button called Buy Me a Coffee. And as you know, I'm a tea drinker. Cheers. But for the record, I drink espresso coffee and with milk, for example, cortado and other things like that. And I've been a barista in training when I had a business place and cafe, meeting place, back in the day with some friends there and contacts and partners, business partners. So instead of a coffee, and I asked to joke, I asked Pablo and Peter if I could change it, but it's a default thing, and you know, coffee is big in America, of course. Finland is the biggest tea drinking country per capita per person, and then it's Sweden, I think, but in amount, I think America is pretty big, and already 5 viewers here. Thanks for that. So buy me a coffee could be buy me a cuppa, buy me a cup of tea. And right now, I think I have, maybe on my account here, but HAPS coins, maybe I could cash it in and get a cup of tea or coffee. So that's on that level. But I see the potential here. I'm on this VIP list thanks to Eileen Smith that introduced me to this great service. And I see it, as I often say to my clients, this decimal thing. You start with 0, and then you get 1 listeners or viewers and followers or subscribing to your RSS feed, and then you get 10, then you get 100, and then you get 1,000. And if you get 100, I think it's a concept there, hundreds of paying clients, customers, or fans or subscribers to newsletter or a membership. And if you cater that and nurture that, then you have it. And that's why I also we'll talk about cost here. I pay for a membership called Fizzle that I include here in the show note. And that costs about $40 per month. And you often join that community in order to get courses and education and learn things like how to start a blog that matters, podcasting, social media, marketing, website building, and all these kind of things. And then you stay in this online community and forum, then you could participate in coaching calls on Fridays. And also now they have a book club, that they have a book circle or reading circle, book circle, reading books. And in September, it's the one thing that I look forward to studying that I've read. And then you stick around, as I said, for the forum or online community. And it's built by a platform called Palapa by Corbett Barr, that's one of the founders of Fizzle. And I like that forum. You could have a forum on Facebook, LinkedIn, and others. But here is your own forum, and it's not collecting data. It's not the algorithm try to trick it in different ways, or in order to be seen, you have to pay for ads, and you have to do an active choice in order to log in. But if you do that, it's talking of game. It's a bit of gamification. If you become active, add valuable comments, hearts, likes, thumbs up, and adding your 2 cents to the conversation, and then also write your own post and entries. You could be the top contributor at, in this forum. You could get this most helpful user, and they do that on a weekly basis. And then you get like a ranking score, you could say, how active you have been. So I think that's a neat thing. And I have some ideas about how you could build a community or a forum or an online network around this tool, because it's only a tool, but it's a very good tool. And they have thought about, as I said, the active choice to do something, and that it's your own platform, and it's concentrated on this communication thing. And also they have this, as I said, gamification, and then a bit of the instant message also. If somebody's online, you could send an message. But otherwise, it's very, you don't get this triggered like dopamine on Facebook and others notification all the time. You do an active choice. Now it's time to add my 2 cents to the conversation, to see if it's some new members that's doing an introduction or a presentation. Somebody has a question that you could maybe answer or help with something, or you have a thing that you want to talk about, etc. So, and then, as I said, the coaching calls and the happy hours with the founders and others that's working with this. So it's a great place. So, wow, I here now see, is that, could that be correct? 52 viewers. Wow. So I will, yeah, it's working here on. Working on Facebook here. So that's great. I wonder what's, if I got pushed or promoted some way. So thanks for that out there. Maybe it's attraction marketing. Now it started. I'll see here. There. My Facebook thing again here. And I have to turn down the volume. So I'm seeing this is the multitasking thing. So going back to how you could support me and myself, because right now I'm in a financial situation, and it's end of the month, as I say, and then a month when it's starting fresh, you could say. And but now I have, as I said, told before, you could support me through something called Coffee. Talking about tea, ko-fi.com/Lyceum, I think it is. And there I have stated how much I spend on podcasting. So it's about $150 per month. I could use it for client work and for co-host and others, but it's a cost, and it's of course like a hobby. If you are doing golf or whatnot, it maybe not so much comparison. But I want to cover this, and I also want to, get hat tip or thanks note for what I'm sending out here in cyberspace. So this got me thinking about the different podcasts that I have, and also the hosting. So this one, Ego Netcast, right now, it's a bit, under, not construction, but I have to move that, and that could take some time, to another host that I have most of my podcasts. So I could include that in the dashboard there. And it's a bit, not pain, but it's a bit sad to end with the other hosts, because I like them very much over there. At Libsyn, I could mention that, and I've referred them with business with other clients, and they're a great market player here, and I want to follow them along also. Rob, Elsie, Sarah, and et al. So thanks for that, for the time. But at the moment, I will then move over here. Now I see 65. Wow. Move over to Captivate.fm. There I also have talking about getting hat tip or kickback, I have an affiliate link there. So they have that system so you could reduce your own cost. And I started out not a beta tester, but an early bird or early adapter. So I got a good deal there on the account, and then also introduced for new clients to use this service. So then I reduced my cost, and I like that. And for Libsyn, they're a big player, and I'm only one customer, but I've been a loyal customer for a long time, and also using this standalone app, and that's adding up. But I think it's a great idea because until now, Libsyn I think is the only host that has their own standalone app. Now it have been coming up with some called Mobile Me, but I also pay for every month like $7, and we have that standalone app for the co-host Blair and myself, the Secular Foxhole. So there we have a merchandise. You could buy a T-shirt with our artwork, podcast artwork. It's like also kind of community or chat function. So, and I think I will bring on when everything is ordered with Ego Netcast again, uh, Lee, the founder of a mobile app uh, company there, and have a conversation with him. So that got me thinking, as I said, with RSS feed, what's happening if you can't pay the bill or something happened technically, because the RSS is the key for subscription. And if that's gone, what will will it disappear? And I don't want to think about it, say about it right now, but what's happening when it's game over for me? Will my podcast will be available in cyberspace, or will it be disappear? Because if you don't pay the hosting, it will be shut down sooner or later. So excuse me, I'm getting some emotional here maybe. And so when I was thinking about this free service out there, if it's so-called free, and there is nothing like a free lunch, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. You could say it in two ways. There is nothing that's free. You have to pay for it in one way or another, or it's nothing that's going up. Or how to say? It could be great to maybe, for example, be somebody buys you lunch as a friend. So then I got thinking of that. Now Anchor, that's owned by Spotify, that's free. But read the terms of service again. But and there when it's no longer a so-called a traditional RSS feed. So then it's in their own bubble. And then of course it will be, as long as Spotify is around, and I think they will be around for a long time, because they are a market leader, especially in music, and how to consume music and subscribe to it and pay for it. That's the thing. People pay for music like $10 per month, and it's adding up with all the users there. I think they have a pretty good conversion rate there on Spotify. And we could have a discussion how much they pay for the musicians and the artists compared to, for example, Apple Music and others. So, but now I took the decision. So I have one podcast on Himalaya, and I talked to Zachary Davis about that, how they have pivoted with that app and more like a audiobook subscription service and premium podcast, and a very nice application for podcasters, podcatchers. But they had also a so-called free hosting that you could use, and I wanted to test different ones so I could give advice to potential clients. Maybe they want to start free. So then I recommend like Anchor, like Eileen Smith is doing. She has a great show on Anchor called on Spotify called The Anchor Show, I think. So why not? But I have used free services in the past. One was called Audio Boom. You could pay for it also. And then something happened with that and developed. And another one was Made by Opinion, Swedish startup that had it free, and then but shut it down. And also pivoted, and now we are all ears. So it's like search for example, keywords like RSS feed, podcasting, whatnot. You could search in videos and in podcasts, and that's great business intelligence to say what are people saying about you and your company and your brand. wow, it's. I wonder if it's so-called to joke inflation here, or it's really 7889 viewers here. Thanks for watching. I have to check what's happening here, but I'm glad about that. So how should I do? So I moved that Himalaya to now Captivate, and then you have to do a 301 redirect, so it will not be, lost in cyberspace, moving from one place to another. And also, uh, I have the perfect Kappa T, that's the nickname for T sketches, and where I had that on Red Circle, that's also a free service. And I wanted to play around that also, but it's also another place to log into, so that's why I'm moving everyone now. And also I have, as I said, a dashboard that I could see clients' podcast also, and be having like an overview in a good way. So that's what I've been thinking about. What's happening when it's game over with your content out there? And is the RSS really yours? In this case now, it's like almost like a catch-22, because I have a hard time to pay this bill, and then it's closing maybe down, and then I have to reopen it, and then maybe if I don't want to say, but unlucky, 100 plus episodes could be gone, lost in cyberspace. Excuse me. And that could happen, for example, if you can't log into a system, or yeah, you're not here anymore. What will happen? So I wonder, and also we could talk about this political correctness, what's going on like in YouTube and so on. I have heard about a service called Library, or that's LBRY. It's like a backup plan of podcasts and videos from, for example, YouTube, and then they put it on Library, and it should be there forever. But I think you have to have a certain amount of users and viewers and followers on YouTube in order to get this library. So maybe that's some kind of investment and shout out and call to action that I have to do to get that. So I could have, for example, the secular foxhole where Blair and I have been talking about that, maybe for safety reasons, because you never know what could happen. For example, this example with Joe Rogan that moved over to Spotify, and then he said some controversial things, and it got a bit shaky for a bit there for a time, I think. So that's something to think about, where your things are after the game is over. So RSS feed, and that same thing with the blog. Well, what will happen with that? And where I have my first blog is on Blogspot, that is now a blogger called Blogger. It's owned by Google, and I think Google will be around also, and that's free. But this is, Google is using it with the data and mining, and you could put their ads on it, and they could earn money on it. But again, there you have to read the terms of service also. They could shut you down if it's something that they don't like. Knock on wood, my blog barrier has been around for a long time. So this thing about backup, what's happening if it closes down, or if you want to move a podcast or a blog for one place to another, what should you think about? So maybe that's some services out for that, like library and others. And then with Facebook, have you set the settings there on Facebook? You could put that when you are gone, you could hand it over to some relatives or friends or something, and they could log in. I haven't done it myself, and I said when I'm gone and game over, I don't really care in a way. But of course, my so-called legacy with all the content out there, maybe it should be out there for rest of time. I don't know, for forever. What do you think? But then if you use this kind of service with some kind of backup, could you trust them, and what will that happen? Nothing is for forever in a way. So, and should you have concerns about it, or don't bother? I don't know. What do you say? So this is talking about that. And another thing, this is Tuesday Tech Free Things. It was RSS feed, and that's for podcasts and bloggers. And then what was Facebook doing with their settings where what's happening after your game over, and this library thing and other backup services. So this have been something now right in my mind, and I will learn from this, earn some experience with all this failing forward and doing my mistakes and so on, and not preparing. But it's all good. So talking about that now with 84 viewers, it's wow, that's great. I got from The Economist, and they have tried to charge my card there for another 12. They are very keen on that quick new 12 issues, and now it was 900, over 900 Swedish crowns. So I can't continue with that. So what will I do now on Thursdays segment when I have this first day ventilating or commenting or doing an analysis of an article in Economist if I don't continue my subscription. But I will do probably this so-called trick. I like Economists, I value them, but it's a bit costly for me as a poor capitalist. But I will think about it and maybe contact them or wait for when it comes a new offer, because that's how I've been through the years, that I have subscribed for a couple of years and then maybe I don't have the time to read it or some other priorities, and then I stop, and then I see some offer. And for example, I got new notebooks with subscription and so on, and I like how they develop with the audio content. Now you could listen to the articles and you could also share it with friends and so on. So I like it and I value it, but again, could I afford it? So I'm thinking of continuing on Thursdays, still ventilating about things going on, but I have lots of issues here. And then also this, I like this 1843 that stopped, that's then got incorporated into The Economist like a digital. There it's more like a magazine, long reading. So I have lots of articles, content. I will not have access if I not subscribe to old articles online, but I have lots of articles here and issues, so I could go through them and pick one now and then on a regular basis. I probably will do that. And I know if I call The Economist, they're very good salespeople there. So we'll see what I will do. And I see the numbers here been calling from England, so it could be them. So on Thursday, I will probably take some older articles, comment on that. And if you want, as I said, buy me coffee, buy me tea. If you're in Sweden, they have gone together, the big banks, with something called Swish. So if you know my mobile number, and that's 46 for Sweden, 73 510 7950. Or in Swedish, it's 073 510 7950. Eller på svenska 073 510 7950. So if you're in Sweden och ni är i Sverige and want to support me, vill stödja mig, you could send donation 1 Swedish crown or whatnot to Swish number, aka my phone number 073 510 7950. 073 510 7950. Thanks for your support in advance. And if you are international and also in Sweden, if you have a PayPal account, you could go to paypal.me / and then my last name, surname, Lindeskog. So paypal.me / Lindeskog. And then you could send $1 or whatnot. So, and I will be happy to receive real money like silver coins and gold coins. But again, it's hard to pay the bills with that at the moment. Maybe the cryptocurrency and other things will come in the future, but haven't invested in that or bought bitcoins or whatnot. Probably I will do some ventilation about all the so-called scam coins out there also at some point. But in some good things, I like the blockchain, and we'll see how that will develop in future. Now it says it's 91 viewers here. Wow. So something have triggered. If it's the algorithm, I don't know what's the search word or what's going on here, but something positive. So thanks again, Haps. And here is Haps coins, and it's Lyceum is my username. And then you, as I said, you could give me awards, high five awards, thumbs up, and you could donate, push the button, yellow button, buy me a coffee. And you could also sponsor me on a regular basis. So I will keep going and doing this show. So that's for now. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and thanks for in advance for your support. Appreciate that very much. Again, thanks Eileen Smith for introducing me to HAPS TV. HAPS is now, as I say. This is now. It's going on right now, and she introduced me to this, and I'm glad for that. And she's also a supporter on Patreon, giving me $2, I think, per month, and I'm giving her $1 back. I have supported many content creators on Patreon, and they take a cut of it. And so it was that I was giving more than I received for my patronage and support, and that's all good also. And but again, if you value my work one way or another, subscribe and join HAPS for free. You get 100 coins that you could give to me or somebody else here, content creators. And as I said, you could swish in Swedish, you could send by PayPal, and you could send HAPS coins. And you could reach out to me also here on my email account, lyceum@gmail.com, or on Twitter, lyceum peripatos, and we could continue the conversation if you're interested, because now I know that I'm a so-called nano influencers. If you have more than 1,000 followers, for example, on HAPS or especially on Twitter, I have 5,000. I need to follow more there. But I have pushed the limit there on a follow limit. So I have to get more tweets on followers. I could follow more. I have to do some cleaning there. I don't think I have much robots and bots and not and fake users that some of the celebrities have out there. So it's the real deal, but it's some Twitter thing. Talking about that, I will have a course and a webinar workshop on Twitter in Swedish to start with in the near future, and then I will do it international also, and there I could do a shout out to Lisa Sicard that have a book on Twitter. So cheers. So yeah, as a nano influencers, so if you have like 1,000 on Twitter or 1,000 on Instagram, you could having these collaborations with and getting sponsorship with brands and companies and products and services. And it was an article, a blog post that Ivan wrote and posted on Be Sugar that when I'm moderating, so that I will include in the next issue of my newsletter, because I will put that on my last site, teaparty.media, that I'm so-called nano influencers also. And I'm open to sponsorship and collaborations and getting paid for like product placement in one way or another, if it's according to my values and business philosophy, according to the trader principle. And wow, it's almost 100 now, 96 viewers here. Should I stick to it? And I have been babbling for 30 minutes. Could I reach 100? Do you think? Still $0 here. I don't know if it's up early in the morning for you out there in California. It's right 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's 9 a.m. East Coast time. And here in Sweden, it's in the afternoon. It's like 3:30 p.m. Central European time. So yeah, will be interesting to follow along. I will see here on Facebook. I see that James Valiant and Jens Anderson have been watching here and giving thumbs up on Facebook. So thanks for that. I appreciate that very much. So again, cheerio, and talk to you soon again. That will be on Thursday at 9 a.m. Central European time, and then on Saturday it will be like this weekend tea drinking party around 9 p.m. Central European time. So thanks again, and talk to you soon again. Cheers.